made it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 198 of RickCast here on this beautiful Friday evening. It is the 10th of October 2025. Quiet night, and that's all right. I get it. It's one of those nights where people are out and about doing things. It's the conclusion of yet another long week for me. Doing some other things, and then getting ready to be out of town next week. So we'll see how it goes tonight. But we got some stories to talk about. Venezuelan opposition leader wins the Nobel Peace Prize over Trump. So, of course, all conservatives are upset about it because Trump must win everything and he must be given all of the holy honors that apparently he deserves or whatever. I don't care. But the funny thing is, the lady dedicated the win to Trump. It's kind of weird. But he can't lose anyway. Then we'll spend some time talking about TPUSA and how TPUSA, I'm telling you, this just is a feeling. The feeling could absolutely be wrong. It's been wrong before. I have a feeling this thing is going to be an absolute embarrassment. I think TPUSA is in over its head. And we'll talk about that. I just don't think it's going to work. I just don't think it's going to work. No bueno. I don't think it's bueno. So we'll see how that goes. And then I have one extra story we'll talk about before we head out for the evening. So it's gonna be a nice show. They're all good. They're all nice. And yeah, that's how we'll get after it. But do me a favor, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching this live or in the replay, do me a favor, like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell, as we are obligated to do, as we must do, or else you're going to make me sad. Okay, now that that's out of the way, let's take a look at our sponsor. We do have a sponsor for today's program, and that is Proselytize. Proselytize.com. Proselytize with proselytize. Yes, that is an awesome tagline, and you should definitely use it. Go to proselytize.com. Use the promo code RickCast. Get 10% off your order on these amazing ties. As I've shown you every time I promote Proselytize, great, amazing quality. They look great, and you can wear them at work. You can wear them out when you go out to dinner with your lady and you want to look all fancy. You can wear them, and it is a nice way to evangelize and show your faith without having to talk about it. So they are the best Catholic neckties on the market. Check them out at proselytize.com. 10% off your order using the promo code RickCast. Big thank you to the gentleman, to the family at proselytize.com, supporting us and being a sponsor of this show. So thank you to the guys at proselytize.com. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look here as we are getting our first story started up. I don't know, man. I am not playing the violins or any of this other kind of stuff, but I think 500 is not I don't think it's a Goldine. I think it's nice, but if you have 200, I have 200 shows and like over, I don't know, how many videos do I have? I have 200 shows and how many videos out there. And like I said, I'm not trying to play the violins. I have almost 500 videos and 200 live shows, and I don't even have 300 people. So it is what it is in that regard. And I think I've made the decision that we're going to do we may do the Council of St. Michael on a different channel, because I don't think this one's going to give it the reach that I was hoping for. But, like I'm saying, it'd be great, and it could get there. And the only way it gets there is if you guys want it to. That's the 100% on God's honest truth. So let's get to it, ladies and gentlemen. We have some good news on this Friday afternoon. This is, kind of what Steve and I were talking about last night on News from the Pew. Catholic defiance of democratic law pays off, sparing priests from the choice of jail or excommunication. Now, if you listen to the bishop, there was no choice in this matter. When the Washington government came down with this law, the Catholic priests were like, we're not doing it. You're just going to put us in jail. And so they were defiant of it. And we have a good outcome. This is a good outcome. Washington State Democrat law that would have forced priests to break the seal of confession has been permanently enjoyed. That must be a legal term. Bob Ferguson, Democratic governor of Washington State, who was playing chess with like a supposed Catholic Joe Biden today, signed a bill in May that would have compelled Catholic priests to break the seal of confession or face up to 364 days in jail and a $5,000 fine. Catholic bishops in the Evergreen State fought back and came out victorious on Friday with a reinforcement of the Trump Justice Department. So that's great. I'm happy to see that. This is one of the few times where it's actually okay for the feds to come in and say, no, this isn't how we do things. This isn't what we're doing here. So no, we're not going to do that. So good for them. I'm very pleased with this outcome because every once in a while it's nice to get a win. And Catholics, we're looking for a win here, especially in these gay race communist states that are looking to put stuff on us to make us violate our beliefs. No, they're not doing that. So good for them. Great thing. I'm very happy with it. Just wanted to let you guys know there's a bit of good news on this Friday that we do indeed have a win for at least for Catholics and for you non-Catholics. That's a win for religious freedom. It's absolutely a win for religious freedom in that regard. So thumbs up all the way. Great job. Let's get into our first story of the night here. Venezuelan opposition leader wins Nobel Peace Prize over Trump. Now, of course, this is because Trump did the Middle East peace deal that we talked about yesterday, and everybody said, well, Trump should just get it automatically. Why? I mean, I get it. The Nobel Society has set a precedent that, you could just be black and get the Nobel Peace Prize. Obama. So Trump actually did a little bit more than Obama to deserve it. But let's be real. Take a listen to the Nobel Committee right now, and it'll tell you everything you need to know.
U.S. President Donald Trump has repeatedly said he deserves the Nobel Peace Prize and he'd like to have it. He even said that it would be an insult to the United States if he doesn't get it. What does as the chairman of the Nobel Peace Prize Committee, think of this, and how has this campaign-like activity by the president and his supporters, domestically and internationally, affected the deliberations and the thinking in the committee?
In the long history of the Nobel Peace Prize, I think this committee have seen any type of campaign, media attention. We receive thousands and thousands of letters every year of people wanting to say what for them leads to peace. This committee sits in a room filled with the portraits of all laureates, and that room is filled with both courage and integrity. So we base only our...
Yeah, because when I think courage and integrity, Barack Hussein Obama is a guy that comes straight to mind. It's the same curse that Notre Dame has when Notre Dame gave Obama an award too and let him be a speaker. It was cool at the time, but it's going to come back when history is written that anybody who honored or gave Obama any kind of props will be shamed and looked at as essentially equal to other historical figures that you shouldn't have been praising or any of these other kinds of things. So that was their reason for it. And let's be real. A Venezuelan opposition leader is not a bad thing. I think she's Catholic too. She has a bunch of rosaries around her neck. So, hey, fellow Catholic, good job. The Venezuelan opposition leader, Maria Cornea Machado. I'm married to an Hispanic woman. You think I know how to say these names? I don't. Who won the Nobel Peace Prize on Friday. I like how Axios has to take a shot. Sidelighting President Trump, who openly campaigned for the honor. By the way, Nobel Peace Prize winner Machado praises Trump after White House criticizes snub. So this lady's actually very smart. So she put this out here today. She put this out on her X feed, her X today. And we count on President Trump, the people of the United States, and the people of Latin America. So she dedicated the prize to the suffering people of Venezuela and to President Trump. So I know everybody else is trying to take shots at him for not winning it, but this lady, whoever she is her PR team, and I don't think they have a PR team in Venezuela, but somebody was like, just throw Trump a bone and everybody will love you. And that's exactly what's going to happen here. So good for her. Good for her for winning, because I might even side with the Nobel laureates on this one. Trump putting together a peace deal and the peace deal actually happening are two totally different things. I could even tell you right here, there's something I can go back to my own page, and I talked to about it today, or my feed's going to slow down because I've got one DP running all this. Benjamin Netanyahu's already talked. Look, this is from open source intel. This is today, October 10th. The war is not over. We will expand the circle of peace. Israel forces will remain in Gaza and control key areas to press for disarmament of Hamas. So there really is no peace. That's who said that yesterday? Your boy said that yesterday. Everybody else in the MAGA media, you have the MSN, and then you have the MCM, the MAGA controlled media, and the mainstream media. You have the MAGA controlled media. Oh, give Trump the Peace Prize. He earned it. Blah. Listen, I put out a post. I give Trump credit for at least putting out a deal. Good for him. I think it's at least an attempt, but it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. And you've got Benjamin Netanyahu. We are going to keep and expand the circle of peace. Okay, yeah, okay. With what? Tanks? You gonna shoot the Catholic Church again? Tell me, what is your expansion of peace, Netanyahu? Give me a break. Doesn't matter how much money you throw at these people. Their action, or these people throw at publicity. They just cannot reveal their true awful selves. And that's, the Israeli government is a bunch of bad dudes. So the committee awarded Machado the honor Friday for her tireless work promoting democratic rights for the people of Venezuela and for her struggle to achieve a just and peaceful transition from dictatorship to democracy. Right? At least drugs are cheaper, thanks to Pfizer. Thanks to Pfizer. So yes, the 58-year-old industrial engineer, I know an industrial engineer, lives in hiding. Venezuela's court blocked her from running for president and challenging Maduro, who's been in power since 2013. I like how she did dedicate it. She dedicated the prize to the suffering people of Venezuela and President Trump. So good for them. So, they might give Trump the Peace Prize at the end for whatever the case may be, if they get enough international pressure to do so. But the fact is that there's so much. They just give him the peace. Just give Trump the Peace Prize. He's the peace president, even though he's blowing up half the world like every other president does. But this nonsensical idea that, well, Trump didn't win it, so this woman doesn't deserve to get it. I get that the Nobel Committee is a bunch of libtard morons. Didn't Nobel create dynamite? I think Nobel actually created dynamite or something. There's some weird story where he's actually not as peaceful as everybody says. But hey, that is what it is. So there you go. That was a big story today. Everybody mad that Trump didn't get the Peace Prize because of this monumental peace deal that we all know in this group. Everybody watching, whether you're on Getter, X, Rumble, YouTube, we all know it ain't going to work. And maybe, and I get it, because they gave Obama one just for existing. If you're a Republican, you got to work a little bit harder. You got to get a peace deal, and you got to get the peace deal to actually work. If it doesn't work, it's going to be really hard for you to say, oh, well, you deserve the Peace Prize. Having people sign a piece of paper does not mean you get the award. If you're a Republican, if you're a conservative, you're just not going to get it. I'm surprised they didn't give it to Greta Thunberg, but it is what it is in that regard. good for this woman. I believe she's a Catholic. She at least loves rosaries, and anybody who loves rosaries loves the Holy Mother. If you love the Holy Mother, we're going to be good. So good for her. And just another controversy that makes, MAGA conservatives look like a bunch of crybabies. We're supposed to be so tough and masculine and macho and all this other kind of stuff. But the minute we don't get something, we cry and we whine and we complain and we stomp our feet. Nobody liked that. I thought you guys didn't care about this stuff, right? I thought we didn't care about the Nobel Peace Prize. I don't even care about all these other things because it was establishment shill garbage. Oh, no, it's not establishment shill garbage when you want your guy to get it. Fine, great, whatever. It's so, I guess the phrase that's bounced around, it's just so tiring. It's just so tiring to hear these people complain about everything and for no decent reason other than, well, our guy didn't get it. Well, shut up. Just shut up, you bunch of losers. You are. You're a bunch of losers if you're gonna act like that. If you're gonna cry and whine the whole time. All right. This is RickCast. Like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell. I'm tired of all the whiny nonsense, right? All these tough guy wannabes. All they do, oh, Trump didn't get the award. I'm so sad now. Get over yourself. If you like this show, subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. All right, let's get. Yeah, I'm in a mood. I am literally in the point where I just don't care tonight. I don't care about these people. I don't care about trying to appease these people or any of this other kind of stuff. Just get over yourself. Literally, just get over yourself. All right, let's move on to our next story of the night. We'll probably talk about this one a little bit more than the first one. The first one's just like, hey, you guys are complaining and you're crying about what? Because your guy didn't get the award. Fine, whatever. Wham, wham, wham. But this, doggy, this one is gonna be bad. This one's gonna be bad. So TPUSA, as we call it here, has announced an all-American halftime show to counter the Super Bowl halftime headliner, Bad Bunny. Now, Bad Bunny is a metrosexual, possibly homosexual Spanish rapper. And he was and I'll let Poso talk about it. But here's a couple videos and then we'll get into it.
You know how we're discussing that Bad Bunny will be performing at the Super Bowl halftime show? Well, Turning Point USA just announced that they are hosting their own all-American halftime show. Performers and event details coming soon. So I'm very curious to see who they'll have performing and then to see how that works out on Super Bowl day to see which one gets more eyeballs on it.
Yes, the conservative halftime show. I'm sure that's going to go over well.
I mean, they're already making fun of it, and I get it. I absolutely get why they're making fun of the concept or the idea of having some kind of conservative halftime show. It's a big swing. I'll give them credit for that. It is a big swing. But I think this is going to absolutely bomb. I'm telling you now, I think it's going to bomb. I think there's a lot of conservatives that, like everything else, it's kind of like if you're crowdfunding or if you're like asking for donations and people are like, oh, I'll totally donate. And then you ask them to donate, like, oh, yeah, I can't do that this month. Same thing that's going to happen here. You have a bunch of people that are talking about, oh, we need to have our own halftime show that talks about America and talks about the greatness and all these other kinds of
U.S. President Donald Trump.
And it's, I'm hoping the video's up, the Poso one. Here, take a listen.
And I think this Super Bowl halftime show, we can't call it that, by the way. It is the All-American halftime show.
All-American.
So they have the Super Bowl halftime show. That's Bad Bunny. What they're doing is an attack on American culture.
Absolutely.
They're attacking you for speaking English. They're attacking you. And remember, this is Jay-Z. So Jay-Z and Roc Nation signed in the wake of George Floyd. They signed this huge deal with Barack Obama's best buddy, Jay-Z, and Beyonce, right? Barack and Michelle. And then, boom, they have total control of the Super Bowl halftime show now.
See, I just don't understand how they can even bring someone to the Super Bowl halftime show that the music isn't going to be in English. Like we are America. I cannot wrap my head around it.
This is the fight because this is the fight because they're trying to force the issue. So here's what we're here to announce. The halftime show on Turning Point will be 100% in English.
English!
And if you don't speak English, well, you got 4 months to learn. All right, you got 4 months to learn. By the way, we have a poll up. I don't know, did you see the poll?
No, I didn't. What is it?
So the poll, this is very important. People can go and check it all out. So the poll is up at AmericanHalftimeShow.com, and the poll says, what music genres would you like to see featured? Now, people keep asking me, they're saying like, okay, did you get Creed? Did you not get Creed? I said, I'm not making any, and conversations are ongoing on all that. No announcements yet, but on this, it says, on the poll, it says, what music genres would you like to see?
Anything in English.
The number one is anything in English. Then it goes Americana, classic rock, country, hip hop, pop, worship.
But Jack,
I'm going with anything in English. That's what I'm going with.
This is an email fundraiser, guys. That's what this is. This is another way to get and here's the thing. They will have a show. It'll probably be like John Rich from Big and Rich. Big fan of Big and Rich back in the late 2000s or early 2000s. And a couple other older rock guys. I don't know who else you're going to get. They're talking about Creed. I don't know if Creed's going to do it. Maybe it'll be John Rich, Kid Rock, who else? A couple of other country singers that'll go there. And here's the thing, Peter. I think it'll probably get 100,000 people streaming it during the halftime because it's going to stream. It's going to stream on the Turning Point USA YouTube page. So it'll maybe get like 100,000, 150,000 people to watch it, which is not a bad thing. But the cultural impact that you're looking for is not going to happen here. Also, I'm saying 50-50 shot it doesn't go right now because it's October. What's that? November, December, January, February, 5 months to plan it. I mean, it takes, it's also how hard is it going to be to do like a 30-minute concert? How many people are going to perform? What's going to happen? We'll see. We'll see. I just don't believe that this is going to be a raging success. And it also has the potential to just be an absolute disaster if the technical stuff doesn't get figured out. So anyway, TPUSA announced its All-American Halftime Show set for February 8th, which will run counter to the biggest sports event. And let's see. It's true. Turning Point is thrilled to announce this. Performers and event details are coming soon. My thing is you should not have announced it until you got somebody to actually commit. I think you should have found at least one band to commit. Because right now, to me, it smells like an email chain. Oh, put in your first name, your last name, your email, and your zip code, and then you'll help us out. Okay. So, because remember, you get other information and updates from Turning Point. So I think it's just an email list that they're trying to do, but it's going to focus on faith, family, and freedom. Here's the thing, though. Most people are not going to turn off the halftime show. They'll just put it on mute. Most people don't even pay attention to the halftime. Nobody paid attention to the halftime show last year. Nobody did. It's still the spot. Nobody's going to actually, 1 out of every 10 people is going to actually. Also, if you're at a party, right? You're at a Super Bowl party and like, hey guys, turn on the Turning Point All-American Halftime Show. They're going to go, shut up, dude. So that's not going to help that much either. Turning Point event will transpire on the same day. And then it's really just in response to Bad Bunny. I get it. Bad Bunny's a moron. He's a plant. He's done all the bad things to get this, to be given the spot, if you will, i.e., he dresses like a woman and he speaks in Spanish and yada yada yada. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't look like it's going to be anything to I'll just say this again. They should have gone to somebody and said, like, hey, John Rich, will you do the halftime show? Or Kid Rock, will you do the halftime show? Or whoever. Have at least one person. Because right now, this is on par. Remember when the Daily Wire did their Snow White movie the same day that Disney did a Snow White trailer? The Daily Wire did a Snow White one, and then it went nowhere. This feels a lot like when the Daily Wire would make these hype announcements, and it would get a little bit of traction on X. It would get a lot of traction on conservative circles, but it wouldn't go anywhere. And if you want to win the culture war, you got to figure out how to do these things. You got to figure out how to do this stuff. Now, I give them credit for at least attempting it. It'll probably be a disaster as far as the technicals. It'll stop. They won't stream. There will be mic issues, all this other kind of stuff. Everyone's like, well, TPUSA has all the infrastructure. Not to do something like this. They have the infrastructure to have one guy speak at a podium. They don't have what it takes to actually put on a concert. Or maybe they do. I've never been to the AIM Fest. I think they have concerts there. I don't know what it is. But I don't think they have the infrastructure to pull this off. In 5 months is not a lot of time to do this, especially when they don't have an act. Now, granted, they're just going to stand on the stage and be like, I love America, and then, play their song. But outside of that, what is it? What's it going to be? So we'll see. And I don't think it's going to be very successful. Now, will this be the first? Will they do this every year? That's the question. If they were to say, hey, from now on, we're going to have our own halftime show. And it won't make that much noise the first year. It won't make that much noise the second year. But by the third year, it may actually pick up steam. The problem is, this seems like a one-off to try and get some headlines and be like, we don't like Bad Bunny, so we're going to have Kid Rock do a concert. Great. I know everybody's like, oh, we should get Creed. If Creed does it, it might stand a chance of actually getting some cultural headway. It might. I don't know. Well, this isn't going to be the Super Bowl halftime show, Bellator. Turning Point's going to do it on the Turning Point YouTube page, and they're going to have their own halftime show. This is not the Super Bowl halftime show. This is the All-American halftime show. The Bad Bunny one is going to be, the Spanish singing Bad Bunny one's going to be on the NFL Super Bowl one, which a lot of people are just going to, which I agree. I think the last 20 years have been awful. They're just bad. The Super Bowl halftime show in itself is a terrible concept because it's like 20 minutes, sing like 3 songs, go. Okay, unless you're Michael Jackson or one of these other, famous ones, it's just weird. Most people, if you've actually been in the stadium when one of these things happen, you want me to stream against the Super Bowl? Bro, I've got 5 people watching me now. If I stream against the Super Bowl, I'm going to get 3. Peter, you'll be one of them. Plus, I don't stream on Sundays because it's God's day. I don't work. So, I can't help you there. But I would get behind this if Turning Point said, listen, we're going to start our own halftime show from now on. We're done with, the messaging and all this other stuff. If you said that, I would get behind it. I'd actually have to see it a couple times go successfully, but this really just smacks. And I see, what's the first thing on the stupid website? Put in your email. Give me your email, your phone number, and your zip code. Give me your information. Then you can vote on what kind of band you want there. And then by clicking, you agree that TPUSA is going to blow up your phone and your email with all these other kinds of it's a fundraising. It's an email list. That's all this is. And I know that's not popular to say because we're supposed to be like, yeah, America, blank, yeah. Get Trey Parker and Matt Stowe to sing Team America at halftime. That would be hysterical. I would absolutely be down for that. Yeah, it would be coarse and terrible and rude, but it'd be funny. I don't know. Who do you guys think they could actually get for this? The only two, John Rich and Kid Rock, are like outspoken conservatives. And like in bands from the 80s. And I know Peter said, like, we bring in, whoever, bring in old 80s bands and let them play, and at least it'll be something. It'll be some kind of entertainment. I get it. But the battle, if you're looking at it, the quote unquote battle to counter, it's got to be entertaining. It's got to actually have resonance, or else what's it going to be dismissed as? Oh, it's just a conservative thing. It's just a conservative thing that nobody really cares about. Just let them do their little thing, and that's fine. It won't have the I hate saying impact all over again, but I just got nothing else. The impact that they're hoping for. Oliver Anthony. You know what? I don't even know if isn't Oliver Anthony a hicklib? I actually like his stuff. I listened to Oliver Anthony. He just put out a new song. I think his dog died, and he put out a song about his dog dying. Really good song. But most of his songs that I've listened to are actually really good. Oliver Anthony, that's a sneaky pick, but I don't know if Oliver Anthony would do it. I know he does. Like, there was questions about him being a hicklib or not. I don't know. He might do it now because, he got divorced and his wife took half of everything, and he might be like, "Yeah, if you pay me, I'll go." And like I said, I think he'll be really good. But outside of that, I don't. Who do you bring on? Right? Do you bring on a hip hop guy? Like, if you're talking about faith, family, and freedom, we have a huge uphill battle, Bellator. You're right. It's easier for them because they control all the industries, which I get. Maybe that's why you want to do stuff like this to try and at least get your name out. So on the one hand, I respect the idea that they're doing it. On the other, right now, without a headliner and without any real stuff there, it just seems kind of false. It just seems like it's not really. It doesn't seem real. It seems like more of a promo to get more people to sign up for TPUSA than to actually have like an actual event. Now, they may pull it off, and I may eat crow, and it may be the greatest thing ever. And if they do, you know who they need? I know who they need. They need Enoch. They need to sign. Oh, hold on. I'm going to tweet this out in real time. Y'all going to watch me. Let's do this in real time. There is only one choice for the Turning Point American. Is that what it is? All American. Sorry, I want to make sure I get this right. All American halftime show. And that is come on, man. Where is he? The man, Enoch. He's the only man good enough for the job. Enoch is the only man that I would trust to be running the Turning Point all again headline. That's the thing. If they were really creative, they could do something like that. That's actually a really great idea, right? They could do something like that where they just go through the whole thing, do like a motley of American music. So I actually like that. See, that if they had that kind of creativity, and my problem is I don't think they have it. I don't think they have that amount of creativity to do something really like that. I just don't. I don't trust them. They'd have to actually prove it. So that's my big thing there. I don't know if it's going to work. I think right now, until I see a headline or I see some kind of list of maybe they get Kenny Rogers and he can do, or not Kenny Rogers, Kenny Loggins. You can get Kenny Loggins and he can do Highway to the Danger Zone. I don't care. That'd be great. Right? That would be awesome. But there's really, I don't think there's anything here. Bring Johnny Cash back to like, hey, they did it with Tupac. They did the hologram of Tupac. Do the hologram of Johnny Cash. That'd be fantastic too. I don't know. Here's my thing. I just don't think they have the creative bones to do it. Right? They could do that. The band, The Defiant, the one that is made up of like the lead singer of the Bosstones and a bunch of guys who didn't get the COVID vax. The Defiant album is actually pretty good. I used to use some of their music for my Catholic radio show. I think the song Everybody Loves Me. It's actually a pretty funny song from The Defiant. I think it fits my life pretty well. But there could be, like I'm saying, I need to see a list of people playing to see if this has any legitimacy. And then the big thing that I feel they have to get over is planning it. Is there I got a little bunny on here. Look at that. They have to get over the technical things about this. Because if I'm pretty sure, because they did it with Charlie Kirk's memorial, they can stream like 100 million people watching it. So that just make sure that they can get the audio right, to get all these other things right. Where's it going to be? They don't even have a venue. What venue is going to host this? If Trump was really a baller, he would do it at the Kennedy Center, right? They should ask Trump to see if they can do it at the Kennedy Center, since Trump essentially runs it. That would be so great. Oh, that would be awesome if they just did it at the Kennedy Center and rub it in the lib's face. Because if you're going to do that, you might as well go all the way. If you're going to do this whole thing, do it at the Kennedy Center and then just roll them out. You know, you would think like the Grand Ole Opry would be a great place to do this. Because it's not about like the people in the actual stadium. Because it's not about the people in the stadium. You're trying to broadcast this. So you need a venue. I'll throw it out here. Guys, I'm doing the brain work for you, TPUSA. Do it at the Kennedy Center or do it at the Grand Ole Opry. Get Trump to pull some strings and have it done at the Kennedy Center. It would light the libs' hair on fire if you did that. And then just go from there and really just kind of focus on putting together a good presentation. Now, it could work. You know, it could work. But once again, I got to see where the venue is and I got to see who's actually participating in it. And if you don't get some of those by the end of November, this thing's not going to work. They have less than 2 months to get a venue, and they have less than 2 months. Then give out, dude, go all the way. Go all the way. Do it, and then do the presentation of Charlie Kirk's Freedom Medal at halftime. Just go all the way with it. But outside of that, I don't know. So Rick, when he looks at this, I need two things. I need a headliner, and I need to know where the event's going to take place. Once we get those hammered down and you get those locked in, then I'll say, okay, there's a chance this could work. But until I get those things, I'm going to once again remain skeptical. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's going to be it for us here on RickCast for the end of the week. Please do me a favor, if you're watching in the replay, hit the subscribe button. We're like 2 or 3 away from getting to 300. All right, we're 10 away from 300. If we get to 300, then we can think about 350 and so for all these other things. So that would be great. So that's it for tonight's episode. I will see you all on Monday. If you haven't had a chance to this week, go over and take a look at the Council of St. Michael, our live stream on Wednesday. We talked about the just war theory and moral duty in the face of self-defense situations. It was a really great episode. I hope you all enjoy that. You want me to do a rock band? You want me to do it right now? You want me to do? All right, let's play with this. I don't have any time. I'm not doing anything else. If I don't know, let me do some research on that, because I can't do it off the top of my head. But wrenches, my toolbox. You guys have a great weekend. God bless, and Viva Cristo Rey.